listeners, it's Jamie here. Thank you so much for downloading this week's show. We're going to open the show with a little recap of my harrowing weekend with producer Deb in Carmel, California. Normally a beautiful and lovely getaway. Didn't end up that way, especially when you have a cranky man on your hands, which is exactly what I had. So you get to hear about that. We also talk about scary stories from our childhood, and ultimately, they weren't very scary. We were just incredibly mean to each other. You know, didn't really outgrow that. If we had the opportunity, we'd probably continue to be very mean to each other. So you'll get to enjoy a few of those stories from our childhood. Thank you so much for downloading again and supporting our show in any capacity. We really appreciate it. So enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
You want me to walk in a straight line? That's hilarious.
Paula?
If I had the energy, I'd kick you in the face. Get away from me.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
It's the Ugly Truth. This is episode, Paula. This is episode, oh boy, I cut it off on my thing.
Do you want to start again?
No, what's the episode?
I don't know.
Don't you have the outline in front of you?
No, I'm looking at my record button so I knew when to start.
Okay, it's episode, I believe it's episode 232. So much
232.
So much for concise and clear and professional.
Yeah, really.
God,
that's why I asked you if you wanted to start over.
It reminds me of those. There's a cartoon. I can't remember which one. Oh, it's Family Guy when he buys a racehorse and it's retarded, and so it goes. It's in the horse race and the bell goes off and everybody goes running out and this horse is like dun, 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 and it's at the end. That's kind of I feel like how we started our show. We kind of fell out of the gate.
That's like the worst entrance I think we've ever had.
Ever. But you know what? This is what happens when we try to conform to some kind of standard. We just can't do it.
Right.
We can't do it. So anyway, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie with my sister Paula. And we already did our Ugg. So anyway, two sisters talking about our lives and staying away from the sad, horrible world around us. Because you can find a million podcasts that do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get right into it. You chatted with me about something last weekend, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, you were sending me topics of discussion for the show. And I happened to be sitting on the beach at Carmel when you did that. And so we decided, a while ago, and we live really busy lives, we decided to take our 17-year-old and her friend to the beach. But because Carmel is so far away, we came the night before.
Oh, okay.
And then we were going to spend the whole day on Sunday. We were going to just hang out at the Carmel by the sea, which is right by Pebble Beach.
Okay.
It's one of our most favorite beaches. It's just it is such a bitch to get to Monterey and Carmel.
It is.
Now, the weekend was great. Daryl was really excited about wanting to show me the Hog's Breath Inn because he and his father go there every year. They do a little golf thing, and then they go to the Hog's Breath, and they go to this other place for food and alcohol.
Okay.
And so we went to the Hog's Breath. And now here's the other thing. It is a pain in the ass to walk because everything's a hill. It's like it's just super hilly. So when we started wandering around, just kind of checking out downtown Carmel, one of the things is the parking lot's really tiny. And so if you get a spot at the Carmel Inn where you're staying, they tell you, they're like, don't just Uber or walk everywhere. Do not give up your spot because you'll never get it back. So we're like, all right, fine. So we parked. Of course, we got a great parking spot at the hotel, and we're like, okay, Uber and walking, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, the thing is that everything is uphill and downhill. So by the end of the weekend, we had climbed the equivalent of 18 flights of stairs.
Whoa.
Let me tell you, my body knew it. And I'm in shape to the point where I can walk and do stuff and not be wanting to die. But here's the thing. I told Daryl, I'm like, can we just Uber wherever? And he's like, no Uber's going to pick us up for a 20-cent ride. They're not going to do it. We're just going to have to walk it. So that was the theme of the weekend.
Jeez.
Is that we were walking. He was being such an asshole. I'm not kidding. I could not wait to get home. Literally couldn't wait to get home. And you know what bugged me is that it was Carmel. We were at the beach. It was supposed to be fun. Everything was a chore. I did more working out and exercise in that 24 hours than I had done in a week. Wow. It was insane. We had walked 3.2 miles and 17 or 18 flights of stairs in less than 24 hours. We never drove. We walked everywhere. We even walked to the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, like, so when I sent you that picture of the sunset,
yeah,
we had walked from our hotel to the beach. That's like it's almost 2 miles. No big deal, except that I was wearing Uggs and jeans. And then had to go home. Then we had to walk it back. And I'm like, maybe we could just take an Uber from here. Because, I mean, it is way uphill from the beach up. It's super, super steep. And some people were getting picked up in Ubers. I mean, you could see them. They're like, oh, thank God, they get in their car and they take off.
I would have just done it anyway. I'm like, if you want to walk, go ahead. I'm taking an Uber.
And I said, why don't we just take an Uber? He goes, we're only 2 blocks away now. That was the theme of the weekend. And I'm like, I want to say it's because he's getting older. Or I told him, I said, I feel like we've reached a peak in our relationship where now you think you can just be snippy to me and just do and say whatever you want. Might I remind you who you're married to? Because that is not going to go well for you. This is not going to go well for you. So he's like, he tried to apologize. Don't be mad at me. I'm like, ugh, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to see you right now. Now I realize that, we're very lucky. We don't have men that hit us or cheat on us. Nothing. It's very relationship-y crap. But I can't take sour, grumpy men. No, it's not happening. And I'm not saying you have to be happy, chipper, wonderful all the time. We all get on there, we're all on the rag at some point in our life, during the month or whatever. But this was like, for him, very uncharacteristic. So I'm like, well, what's going on with him? Like, are you in pain?
Does he have his period or what?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, are you on the rag? Like, what is the deal? But I think I have figured it out. And this is really the only excuse he's getting, by the way. There is no other excuses. He has sciatica.
Oh, yeah.
And it flares up off and on. And a lot of people get sciatica as you get older after you have a child. Your hips move and stuff, and you can get it, and it flares up and goes down. He doesn't care for it the way he should. He doesn't do the stretches or the heating pad or anything like that. Very rare. So he suffers, and pain pills don't work. You have to do something about it usually. Yeah. And so it's been flaring up. And I think that's why he's being such a dick, is that he's in pain. And it's like, it's that annoying pain that you're aware of it, but you don't realize that's what's making you be mean.
So really, pain medication doesn't take the edge off at least?
He can do an Aleve or something like that, but realistically, it's minimal. He really needs to do the work. It's just like with anything. There's no shortcuts. It only will work temporarily and not even completely enough. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying is at least it could have temporarily, done something while you guys were walking around.
Oh my God. Well, and here's the other thing. Walking helped for him.
Oh, that's good.
So, the rest of us suffered so that he could feel better walking is how I looked at it.
They need like human-sized strollers. For me? No, for people. Or
I know. He could have put me in one.
I guess that's what those little, like at Disneyland, they rent those scooters out. That's what you needed.
God, no shit.
You'd be like, try and keep up, old man.
Well, and the thing is that it would have been okay if I hadn't been in Uggs and jeans. By the time we got to the hotel, and here the deal is that I don't mind walking around casually at a cute little quaint downtown, stopping for a cocktail or a coffee or whatever. That's all cool. Except that what woman wants to be hiking up the street in an outfit, sweaty and hot and panting?
You want to be kind of dressed like in heels and
you want to look nice. And by the way, Carmel is like Beverly Hills. It is all LA. Totally.
All those boutique shops and everything. Look at a t-shirt and it's like $300.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're made of cotton. Why are you $300?
There is money just oozing out of downtown Carmel. There's a distinct difference between someone who works there and someone who's vacationing. There is no in between.
I love there's this antique jewelry shop there.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys saw any of those places. I love going. I'll be in there for hours. I will be in there for hours.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. But then again, we were hiking. So it's hard to tell what we saw. But yeah, it was not pleasant. And I was really, really glad we went home. I was ready to leave. I couldn't wait to get home and get away from everyone. I just
to get away from Daryl
so badly. And then, you know, what's funny is I asked Malia, I go, well, we had fun at the beach, right? She's like, yeah. Now, for Malia, who's like a beach bum, she was equally ready. They were ready. They actually told us they were ready to leave. We left an hour before we were actually planning to leave. And I'm like, I'm with you, girl. Let's just go.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's climb. Let's get out of here. Let's climb up this sand hill back to the car.
I hate that thing.
Oh, God. I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect way to cap off the weekend, isn't it? Let's just climb up this sand hill.
I feel like it's an American Ninja Warrior, like, you know.
It is awful.
Thing.
And you know what makes it worse is there's people set up on the sides of the hill because they didn't want to make the trek back up after they were done lollygagging in the sun.
Just sitting there watching the beach and everyone else huffing and puffing up that hill,
groaning and stopping, going, oh my God, that's literally. And you know, they're just sitting there going, you guys were so silly to go all the way down the hill.
And they usually have dogs, and the dog runs up to you and sniffs you, and you're just like, if I had the energy, I'd kick you in the face. Get away from me.
There were so many dogs on that beach. But they were all, you know, well behaved.
Yeah,
super
but then
expensive.
keep them on a short leash. I hate it when dogs walk up and start sniffing me. I hate it when my own dogs do that. Like, get out of here.
Right, but nobody had their dogs on leashes. They were cleaning up their poo as they walked because they all took shits. But everybody had their fancy little cleaning upping little belt loop thing.
You know what? I have a question.
What?
I know these plastic baggies to clean up poop came out within like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
What did we do before that?
We left it. Or
Why can't we go back to that day in time? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I will tell you why. Because suddenly it was required for all to bring their dogs with them wherever they went. They need those dogs to, you know, get through the day. And so there are dogs everywhere now. We went to a restaurant a couple weeks ago. There are paw prints on the table, and we were sitting outside on this patio, and the waitress says, oh, the paw print means that you can have your dog with you. And I'm like, really? This is new?
Can you imagine trying to take Bodega to a restaurant?
In fact, she said, yeah. She goes, bring your dog in and you know, you can get them a chicken breast. I go, why would I spend $10 on something that's going to be wolfed down in 0.2 seconds?
I know.
Literally.
That's how Bo is. He eats
stupid.
it. I don't even think he tastes it. I just usually go straight down his throat.
They're like geese. They just pick something up and go, and that's it. It's gone. I'm like, what's the point?
One of the hotels we like to stay at in Reno when we go up there, they allow pets, but it's a long walk from the elevators to the front door, which is, I'm assuming you have to go that route to take your dog out to go potty.
Oh, no.
And I just keep thinking about my dogs. I mean,
they wouldn't make it.
One, Paula would be peeing on every slot machine on his way out.
Oh, God.
And then I know Bo, he would start, you know, doing the weird hunch butt, and then he'd just poop on the floor. And I'd be like, this is... Like, how do you clean that up? Do you have to have like a napkin or like a Lysol wipe? And then it's just
one thin square.
It's just terrible. And
yeah,
I'm just like,
I know.
This is a bad idea. I mean, unless your dog is really trained to know absolutely not to go in the house.
Listen,
which our dogs are.
Yes, at home, not out and about in the world.
Well, you know, Bo gets nervous, so
yeah, he'd pee. He'd probably immediately pee or shit or diarrhea somewhere.
It would be diarrhea.
In the elevator.
I have no doubt it would be diarrhea.
Yeah, I'm resentful that suddenly there's this new generation of people who are compelled to bring their creatures wherever they go. Oh, I'm sure it's the same.
They ordered their service dog vest on Amazon.
Right. Or, you know, these are the same people that insist on bringing flasks of water when they go to the grocery store because they just can't make it through a 30-minute shopping trip without hydrating. You know, it's the same thing.
Jamie, I buy a water bottle every time I go to the store.
Well,
it's going to be me or the kids. Someone's going to get thirsty.
That's ridiculous. You are the problem.
No, you know that's
don't bring your goddamn dog.
Mom has a bottle of water in her purse every time we go shopping somewhere.
You know what? I will tell you this. Bottled water did not exist. Little baby plastic bottles of water did not exist in the 70s and 80s when we were all small. Okay, I don't know how we got through a grocery trip without it, but somehow we survived. That's all I'm saying. Wow. That's all I'm saying. But yes, I'm aware, but now it's just the norm. Now it's the norm. And so now when I go to IKEA, there's some woman with her tiny dog in a cart because she can't not bring the thing with her. It's the same thing, and I'm supposed to get used to it. And I don't want to, because dogs shit and they puke and they pee. They are not humans wearing diapers. If they're little, they can't look at you. There's no place in a retail outlet for a dog to take a dump without being disgustingly smelly and offending 100 people in a, 50-meter diameter. It stinks. It's awful. So the beach was riddled with expensive hybrid dogs running amok.
Oh, great. Like greyhounds or
there were greyhounds. There was a Dalmatian. There were a lot of poodles, purebred American Standard poodles. There was a couple with 3 wee mariners running around, and one stopped and was watching the girls when they were playing in the sand and took a giant shit right in front of them.
Did they clean it up?
No, they didn't. Emily looks up at me and they moved. They're just like, well, I mean, we're not going to do it.
They could have at least kicked some sand on it.
It was wet sand. It was gross. It was just, so that's, that's the thing.
Jeez.
Anyway, so Carmel was fun.
Good.
No, it was okay. I mean, there was too much walking. I was, and I'm not opposed to exercise at all, but it's really not the place to get your sweat on when you see famous athletes and celebs walking around, buying your antique jewelry. And actually, you know what? I think I did see that because I stopped and I looked at this ring. I said, that is gorgeous. And Daryl, and I said, one of the girls said, do you think that's real? I go, yeah, I think that's real. And Daryl's like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, all right.
Who's talking to you?
No one's asking you to fork over the mill. Just keep on walking, old man.
Oh,
for real. God, he was being such
I would have been so annoyed.
Oh, God.
So annoyed.
It was unbelievable. It was just so unbelievable. You know what happens? He's not a perfect, but I love it when things like this happen and I tell you, or Stephanie, because for the most part, everybody thinks he's just the perfect husband and he's just so wonderful. And he is all of those things.
But he has his moments.
He's still a man.
Yeah.
He can still be a dick about things, and he was.
That's so anyway.
Funny. Okay.
Funny.
It was funny. It was hilarious. Hilarious. Okay, so last week, you and I were going to talk about scary stories, things that have happened to us that scared the shit out of us. And it can really be anything. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be scary. But the things that you sent me when I was in Carmel hell, first of all, I did a little research on both of them. And I want to talk about the camel toe one really quick.
Okay.
And I don't think we're going to talk about it too much. Did you go beyond what you found, what you sent me?
Not really.
Okay. So this is not judgment or criticism or anything of the nature. It is what it is.
It's unique.
It's a camel toe jockstrap that you sent me.
Oh, the ones I found were camel toe underwear.
Okay, but they're for men. They're for transgendered men.
The one I'm looking at shows all women wearing them.
I clicked on the link that you sent me, and it was all transgendered underwear. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, this is weird. Why would a woman amplify her camel toe? Because basically they're underwear that has a built-in padded camel toe. Why any woman would do that is beyond me, because unless you wanted it to be bigger. I don't even know what kind of woman would wear that. So when I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is for transgendered men, which I I didn't even think that would be something that someone would want.
Well,
like, we're trying to avoid camel toe.
So that's what shocked me.
Yeah.
Is if you look at the underwear, I mean, it's two very large labia lips.
Yes.
So it's not like you couldn't see it. It's like looking at, Journey's cover albums where they all have their peens going to one side and their tight jeans
in their super tight ditto jeans.
So it says, while traditionally a lady would try to avoid showing the outline of her vulva in public, now apparently it's becoming the rage with a wide variety of fake camel toe underwear available online for fashionable women and men. So it could be both.
Okay. Maybe the specific link that you sent me took me to that very specific piece.
I hadn't read the article, but So it shows these women wearing the underwear, and then they put their clothes on, and then they're kind of just like sticking out their puss a little bit. Like,
can I assume that they're wearing like workout clothes? Because I can't imagine that this would show very well in jeans or.
Do you think
something.
Men are turned on by camel toe?
I have no idea, and if you are, gross. I don't know. I mean, I've never ever understood it. I have 3 pair and they're old now and I need to replace them because they're worn out. I have 3 pair of Nike Capri workout pants and the way they're cut, it's like hardcore camel toe. And it's not only that it's tight there, there's a seam right down the middle on top of it. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, why would any woman buy these? Why did I buy these?
I was just going to say, why did you buy them?
Well, because you don't try on exercise clothes at, Dick's Sporting Goods. I mean, you just buy them. You're like, oh, this is my size. I like the color. And you buy it. And then you put it on at home and going, oh my God, this seam is embarrassingly bad. And then you just don't wear them outside.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I don't. If you have no problem wearing camel toe seams, that's fine. I would never. I think it's a little vulgar.
I definitely take a look. I want to make sure, the flaps are in place.
I thought you were going to say take a lip.
Oh, I probably did, but
I want to take a lip.
No, I just want to make sure the flaps are in place and not, like trying to talk or something. I don't know. It just.
Yeah. And those are Nike, by the way. I've never had any problem with any other brand. It's just Nike. And I'm like, well, maybe Nike has a thing going where they go, yeah, men like camel toe at the gym. I don't know, but I think it's gross.
Yeah,
personally. So to actually buy something to accentuate the area, I didn't know there was a big market for that.
Well, it started in Japan and in Asia, so it may not have made its way here yet, but
I don't think it will.
But it's coming.
No, it's no, it's not. Hey Hugs, as we say goodbye to summer, Amazon is the easiest way for you to say hello fall with everything from pumpkin spiced pretty much anything to boots to scarves and a lot of Halloween candy. If you go to Amazon.com, they'll have it for you. Not only will you save a ton of time going out and about in the crowds trying to get these items, it will be delivered directly to your door, and if you're a Prime member, free shipping. So check out the Ugly Mall, click through to support the Uggs, and prepare for the cool, lovely weather of fall. Bye! This was the thing you sent me is a prototype. My guess is that they're going to try to, I don't know if they'll actually try to fund, what is that? Not GoFundMe, but they try to get funding for it.
Oh, right.
It's called a dildern. Did you know that? It was called a dildern.
No, I didn't look at the name.
That's the name of it. It is a dildo that will hold exactly 22 ounces of ashes, and then you put it in a dildo you can utilize it with your loved one's ashes inside the dildo. And it's glass.
Yeah. It's
a glass dildo. And then what comes with it, interestingly, it comes with a kit. You can put in your iPods. You can listen to music. Comes with headphones. Comes with all kinds of cool stuff in this little box. So it's not just the ashes in the dildo. It comes with a whole kit of things. And then it says, and it's not for sale. And I'm like, well, then why are we talking about it? If this isn't something that people can buy, why are we talking about it? Can you imagine? I mean,
they probably are just trying to see if there's a market for it. I mean,
maybe, perhaps like the vagina glue, maybe.
God, I mean, we know obviously people die, and you have loved ones that die, And so they're probably
putting it in the
seeing
dildo.
if people would be interested or willing to, you know, keep the flame burning, I guess.
I will say yes. I do think that there are people who would do it.
You would have
I really
sex.
do.
I wonder if some people, would you have sex with ashes?
No, I wouldn't, but I really think that there are people who would absolutely be all in on that.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with this for a reason.
Well,
someone's probably tried to do it.
I think they kind of cheapened it by adding like a battery charger and
and an iPod holder,
and the USB cables and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
a charging station.
Yeah, that was that I could have done without the multifunctional stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it. But like I said, you know, humans are very crazy people, and we'll do all kinds of weird shit when we're mourning the loss of our partner. Is my guess.
That's true. So
okay, scary stories.
Okay.
You said you because those were frightening. Now we're going to talk about our personal scary stories. You said you had one.
I have two, and they both involve Stephanie. So
oh, what a shock! How shocking!
So
okay, I want to hear because I want to know if I know them.
We used to read these choose your own adventure books.
Yes.
One of the stories I was reading was about the Mayans.
Okay, the sacrifices.
And so we also used to do this thing to our fingers, and I don't know why we did them. Mom sewed a lot. So we would take like the needles and we would like stick them through the tip of like our finger skin.
Yes, I remember that.
Just to see what would happen, I guess. It didn't hurt, but...
No, you can go through quite a few layers before you hit nerves.
Right.
Yes.
And so Stephanie's like, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, why? She's like, you're going to get needle. So, I'm like, what's needle? So I remember being in the hot tub because this was the house that had the hot tub.
Okay.
So she's like, here, there's only one way to find out. And I'm like, how? And so she's like, you've got to put this penny on your forehead. And she's like, if it falls off, you don't have needle. But if it stays on, you do have needle. And so she even had a little song.
Needle, needle.
No, she's all, if it falls off, you don't have needle. If it stays on, you do have needle.
What the hell?
Ancient mile, I put the needle on your forehead. And something like that.
What?
So she put the needle on my forehead and it stuck on there. Okay. What I didn't realize is she had put a big glob of Vaseline on the back.
So it wouldn't come off.
And so I'm like, oh my God. And so I went and I started crying and I ran to Mom and I'm like, Mom. She's like, what? I'm like, I have needle. And she's just like, what's needle? And I'm like, Stephanie says I have needle. And Mom's just like, Stephanie Denise, get in here.
And you believed it?
Of course I did.
Oh my God.
I was only like 5 or 6.
Oh no. That's not scary. That's funny.
Hey, it was scary to me.
I know.
I thought I had a disease named needle because I used to put, sewing needles in my skin of my fingernails.
That's awful.
We were just weird. I don't know why we did that stuff.
I don't either. That was really dumb.
Bizarre.
I mean, you're not dumb. I mean, that Stephanie was able to convince you that you had some strange disease.
She was so morbid, She always wanted to convince everyone they were about to die.
Yeah, I remember one time we were really successful in convincing Allison she was adopted. Like, we were really close to succeeding in that one. Like, because she doesn't look like us. I mean, she does, though. But she has black hair, and we all have brownish blonde hair. Mm-hmm. And we do look alike. If you were to put all 4 of us together, she's obviously our sister. Right. But back then, we didn't see it. So, because we were kids and we were dumb. And so I just remember one time we ganged up on her. And we were able to convince her that she was adopted. And we're like, I think it was Stephanie, and she would say, don't even ask Mom because she'll lie to you. She'll try to convince you that you weren't adopted, but that's just because she wants to continue with the secret. You are adopted. She was so convinced. We were so mean to her. Oh my God. No wonder we're not close.
Yeah, really. You guys were assholes.
We were assholes. We were terrible. Hey, our childhood was tumultuous, man. We only had what we had.
I think about the things we used to do. Like, I watch Ryan and Olivia like be mean to each other and stuff, and I'm like, that's nothing. I'm like, no. I remember the times where you guys put me in the garage and locked the door, then turned off the lights.
Shut off the lights. Yep.
I was like 4.
Yeah, we were mean, no doubt.
They're like, if you get hungry, eat dog food.
Oh my God. So many times. We were awful. We were terrible, awful people. But I mean, you know, we had a very tumultuous childhood. I mean, we weren't homeless or anything. But
no, but I mean, we truly only had each other. So
we were like, honestly, we could have rivaled any Latin gangs. I mean, we were mean.
Yeah.
Super mean. I mean, do you know to this day, I think I don't anymore. Actually, no, I lie. I have a knife by my bed. Do you? Do you still? I
have an old police stick. What do they call those things?
A billy club.
Yeah, I have an old one, so I can beat someone in the face with them if they come near me.
I'm fairly certain that if you were to poll all of our sisters, they all have some kind of weapon under their bed or next to their bed. I do. I have an incredibly sharp knife that I bought at a sporting goods store.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm like, no one's fucking with me. If they get that close, they're gonna get this.
You know what? Speaking of knives, this the other story I had was included Stephanie.
Oh,
we had, and she knew. This was at our mom's latest house, but we hadn't been there that long, so I was like probably 7. Yeah, and there was someone there to repair the roof, but she didn't tell me that. She just said, there's somebody out there, Paula. She's like, what are we going to do? What if he tries to break in the house and hurt us? And I'm like, I don't know. And so she's just like, we have to be ready. Here, get the butcher knife. And she's just like...
That could have gone so bad.
She had me in a corner in the kitchen, and she's just like, I hear him coming. I think he's coming back down. What are we going to do?
Oh, my God.
And then I just started crying. I'm like, I don't know. Instead, he's like, you have to be able to defend yourself.
Well, you do, but still, that's terrible.
She's so... And she was like 13 or something.
She's so mean. You know what? She is just a sadistic fuck.
She is.
God damn it. She's so sadistic. There were so many times that... and I think I did this once, and I remember getting the hell beaten out of me for it.
Yeah.
It was nighttime, and I don't remember where we were. I want to say it was at one of the first houses that we moved into when our parents like officially split up.
Yeah.
I remember she was, because you know Stephanie's really, really hard to outsmart when it comes to pranks or anything, and she always had it coming. There was nothing that she did not deserve, and because of how I am and my personality, you know, Mom thought I was just like this monster compared to Stephanie.
I don't know why she thought that.
And I was just because if I was going to get revenge on her, it was like going to be severe. It was not going to be mild. So one time I remember, God, I don't remember when or where it was, but it was nighttime. I snuck out, and we weren't sharing a room at this point, which was rare on its own. And so she was in her room by herself, and I scared the living shit out of her through the window. I don't even remember what I did. I just know I had a knife, and I know I had like a hood on, so she couldn't see me. And I hit the window really, really hard. And, you know, Stephanie was like a mosquito when she was little, when she was younger.
Yes.
Super spastic and wild. And, you know, she absolutely lost her shit, and she started to scream and cry. And of course, Mother came in.
Oh.
And then I'm standing outside. She's like, what are you doing outside? It is 11:30. Get in the house. Oh my God. I got in so much trouble. Like, what? She deserved it. No one deserves this. What if someone had hurt you?
Allison did something similar to me.
Oh no.
It was at the house Mom still lives at. And she like wrapped her hair in some sort of loose scarf, and then she had sunglasses on. She was in her pajamas, but the lights were off because I was already in bed. And so she opened the door and walked in, and she started walking closer to me, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that? You know? And so I started screaming. And Mom comes in and she's just like, Allison, what are you doing? And Allison's like, I don't know. Of course.
Of course.
And she's like, you know what, Allison? She's like, you know what, Allison? You're really sick. You know that?
I can hear our mom saying that.
Because I was like crying. I was so scared. But Allison had no idea why she did that. She just decided to scare me, I guess, on her way to bed.
You know, why? Why would anyone do that is beyond me. You know, what's funny is I wish people knew our mother, because then they would know why that was so goddamn funny.
I know, because she's so conservative.
She is super conservative. Just imagine Aurora Greenway from Terms of Endearment. That's who our mother is, minus the alcohol.
Right.
Anyway, those are really good ones. I mean, they're funny. They're not super scary. I mean, I've endured some very scary shit.
Well, those were the ones that really scared me, at least.
Well, yeah.
Now that I've gotten older,
sure.
I haven't had anything really scare me.
Yeah, I mean, scare-wise, I mean, when I thought Malia had been kidnapped.
Oh, my God.
I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't function. We were having a garage sale, and she was being annoying because she was really little.
Yeah.
And I said, God, you know, I'm like, Malia, just go in the house. She might have been 3.
Yeah.
And I just said, go in the house. And we were cleaning up the garage sale, and no one could find her because she had wrapped herself up in her blanket and rolled under her bed.
Oh, my God.
And I remember standing in the middle of the street screaming at the top of my lungs. All the neighbors came out. And I was like, please help me. I was screaming, please help me. I can't find my daughter. And everybody, all the women in the neighborhood, there must have been 10 people that came out. And I was literally laying in the street on my knees begging for help. And I wasn't even myself. And so when that happened, and obviously we found her, and then I got mad again because it was my fault because I lost track of her for a minute.
Right.
And, you know, good mothers blame themselves immediately when something like that happens. And I just thought, I will never, ever take lightly when a child goes missing.
Yeah.
And there's a mother. I was absolutely insane. I don't know how people go on TV. Like, I don't know how they do that when their child.
I would be under heavy sedation if anything like that happened to my kid.
I'd have to be in a coma. I couldn't even be coherent. But anyway, yes. So scary indeed. Those are true scary stories for your Halloween night. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do our ugly and awkward moment of the week.
It's really dumb. It's really dumb. I'm on a new medication and it makes my mouth like uber dry, like the Sahara. And it also can make you jumble your words of all the things.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
Just what you need, right?
Yeah, really, because I can hardly speak anyway. And so we've been watching a lot of sports lately because Ryan's into sports right now.
Yes, because he's doing flag football.
Yeah, so we've been watching a lot of football. And then we watched the Warriors game, the Golden State Warriors and
basketball.
I don't know who they were playing. We were all excited talking about it. And I'm like, so how many 3 throws does he get?
3 throws?
3 throws. And Ryan's like, oh, I think he gets 2. And then Victor stopped and he said, did you say 3 throws? And I'm like,
I would actually say that without medication, to be honest with you.
well, it's a hard word to say. So,
it is a hard word to say.
So now it's trending. They're teasing me about 3 throws. And
so now everything's a 3 throw?
Yes, everything's a 3 throw. I'm excited that we're getting more into sports, actually. I think we needed some sports in the house.
Not only that, but you've always been a big fan of sports.
Yes,
baseball especially. And so, yes, I am glad to hear that you're enjoying something more than UFC.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed that Donald Cerrone broke his nose and lost, but oh well.
Man, he got pummeled within
Hard.
like 30 seconds.
You know, that fighter Darren Till, I've seen him fight before. He's hardcore. He's going to be
he's a beast.
I think he's going to take a belt in that division.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him in the sense that, well, first of all, Cerrone's over 30, and you know what happens with UFC fighters over 30, they just aren't the same.
Well, and he's a slow burn, and
he is.
You can't be a slow burn anymore in UFC. You've got to, because that's what all these young fighters do. They go to town fast
immediately. Yes, it's true, and they have the stamina.
And that's just not how it is anymore. So.
It used to, it used to be that way. It used to be like when
just kind of checking each other out.
Well, no, when Daryl first started watching UFC, when it was brand new, he said they would come out and they'd immediately start pummeling each other. Like immediately start pummeling each other. That's why there were so many knockouts and why they were so bloody. Yeah. And then there was a phase where all of these incredibly trained master of their jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai would come in, and it would be these long 3 and 5 round fights because they were using all of their skills. And now it seems like the new generation's coming back and they're coming in and just doing the pummel like really fast, going in there, immediately start hitting, and getting all their energy out in the first 30 seconds. McGregor's like that too.
Well, and that's why he gets so gassed when he's, if the round goes past 2 rounds, then he's exhausted.
And then guys like Cerrone win. If they can if they can get through the pummeling, they will likely win.
The first round and a half,
they're gonna win.
Then they'll be able to do. But
that dude he's young.
Well, he's undefeated too.
Yes, he is. So. I think he's like 17-0 or something crazy. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, like I said, we went to Monterey and Carmel for a very arduous, long weekend. But when we got to Monterey, I don't like Monterey personally. I love the aquarium, but everything around it is very cheesy and very, I don't know, gritty. It's not my favorite place.
You don't like Cannery Row and stuff?
Not at all. It reminds me of Pier 39 in San Francisco, where everything is just dirty and it's a bunch of cheap shit that you can buy for, trinkets for, souvenirs and stuff. And it's just not... It's not ideal for me. And like every restaurant's a chain, it's just, I don't like it. It's all basically like buy all of our things before you go to the one decent thing here, which is the aquarium. I just don't like it. And so, but the girls really wanted to go to Monterey. They wanted to see Cannery Row, and there's this little ice cream shop there that they really wanted to go to. So we're like, all right, fine. So, and it's on your way to Carmel anyway. So there's this big t-shirts / souvenir sweatshirt store called Sharky's. It's the big one right next to Johnny Rockets, and it's the one where everybody goes to buy their sweatshirt or their whatever. I, of course, because I never update my wardrobe, I have no sweatshirts. They're all worn out or gone. And so I said, well, since we're here, I will get a sweatshirt, because why not? We never go to Monterey, and whatever. So we go in. Now, this is the day that I'm wearing my Uggs. We go in, and the stairs to go in are old escalator stairs.
Oh, okay.
So I, of course, hit the lip of one that's probably not even a half an inch above the flat ground, and I hit it just perfectly. And Daryl and my daughter and her friend all got to watch me slowly, in slow motion, fall for a long time because I kept trying to catch myself. So I trip, and I'm trying to do this thing where I'm trying to go up the stairs so I don't fall. If you can even imagine, it's almost impossible.
Let it happen. Sometimes the fall is just better.
No. So I'm like that, and Daryl's like, I'm trying to help you. God. And I fall forward. I'm like, I got it. And they're like, so I turn around, and of course Malia is absolutely mortified. And Daryl's like,
because you embarrassed her in front of your friend or her friend.
No, because the thing is when you have a clumsy parent and no one else has witnessed it before, for her, this is just par for the course. But for her friend, who I have known since first grade, she's never seen me fall. She's seen me be clumsy.
She's never seen you in action.
Yeah, she's only heard the story. She's never seen it for herself. So she got to see it for herself firsthand today. And Daryl's like, I don't even know how to help you. I'm like, there's nothing you can do. This is just my life. Let's get a sweatshirt.
I wonder if clumsiness is like a gene or a trait that is inherited. Because Olivia scares us to death, you know?
She falls a lot or trips and stuff.
She always runs and it's towards a wall, or she's like, look at me, mommy, I can skateboard. Shh, and I'm like, no, slow down, wait.
Don't do it. You're going to kill yourself. For real.
She's always covered in bruises and she doesn't know where she gets them. And
I know.
It's like us, you know?
I know.
She's going to be that way.
The other day, it was, and who knows why, but you know how things show up on your internet, you know, your cookies, you know, when you're looking at Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And strangely, this article about there's a disease where the symptom is clumsiness.
Oh, I read that article. You sent it to me.
I did. Okay. So I'm like, God, do we have a disease? Is that what's wrong with us?
Me.
No kidding. Although I did, when I had my physical and I told you all about that about a week ago, he did check for all of mom's disorders.
Oh,
to make sure I don't have them. I don't have any of mom's disorders, which is good. That's good news.
Yeah, that's good.
But we didn't check for the clumsy disease. Now I'm like, maybe I should have him check for the clumsy disease. That would explain so much.
What test is there?
I don't know. Would you like to just follow me around for 24 hours?
You know, I'm scared one of these days I'm going to get pulled over for a DUI stop. And I'm going to be perfectly sober, but I'm not going to pass because I can't, do what they're asking me to do.
You don't want me to close. You want me to close my eyes and touch my nose. You know that's not going to happen.
And then put a leg up.
You want me to walk in a straight line? That's hilarious.
Like put up your left leg. Actually, my right leg's the bad one. Can I just lift my right leg?
If I start with my bad leg, I'll fall. Ask anyone on my street who throws a garage sale. They'll let you know. If I get out with the wrong leg, I fall.
It's so embarrassing.
One time I got pulled over for expired tags, and I was so high on allergy medicine, I thought I was getting pulled over for a DUI. I was so afraid, and he was adorable too. He's just like, oh, you ever I'm like, oh, I do. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to tell him I have the flu. Just tell him you have the flu. Because I thought I was weaving or something. I wasn't sure. I truly thought I was getting pulled over for weaving.
I just wouldn't say anything. I just answer questions.
I did. But I was still, and of course, I think my license was expired too or something. And it's what happens. That's how people get arrested. You get pulled over for one thing, and there's a treasure trove of infractions going on in the car that no one knew about until they pulled you over. So anyway, so yes, I fell. Hurrah.
Yeah,
I would like to go through a week without a bruise from a fall. That would be awesome. True. It would be so wonderful.
I'm sure I have one somewhere.
I'm sure you do. Every time I get out of the shower, I'm like, why do I have bruises on my arms? Like, what's that from? It's like, oh yeah, it was when I was trying to do this and the thing with the other thing, and I whacked it super hard. It's ridiculous. We probably have the clumsy disease for sure.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Have a good Halloween.
Have a safe and sane Halloween, everyone.
Have a safe Halloween. Make sure you go through your kids' Halloween bags and take all the goods that you want and then just replace it with the cheap stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. So
all the gluten-free goods.
Be nice, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap. But make sure to watch your podcast feed for all the screw-ups and edits from this episode and what we call Ugly Cuts. And then we'll have a brand new full episode for you next week. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.